Hey, creative souls. Happy that you're here. Thanks for tuning in. My name's Johnny. I am a published fiction writer and a retired adjunct writing professor. For 2 decades, I help college students get their words on the page. Now I teach fiction writing and screenwriting to adults in custody. I call myself a word witch, and if you want to know more about what I mean by that, check out my video called On Being a Word Witch. I believe I'm on this earth to heal the world through stories, whether it's the ones I write and tell or the ones that I help you write and tell. I'm new here on YouTube, and I fully embrace the notion of energetic reciprocity, so if anything I say helps, resonates with you, I would sincerely appreciate your likes, shares, and subscribes, because if I can grow this channel, I can do more in my mission to heal the world through story. Because as I always say, stories can heal the world, so let's do it together. So we had an eclipse, a full moon lunar eclipse last week on March 25th. I know I'm a little late in getting this up. I sent my email list an email about this, but I thought I would share here how we might use the energy from this moon for our writing practices. And I really do believe that as above, so below, and what is going in the cosmos impacts us. And I think when we understand what's happening up there, we can make it work for us down here. You know, these energies are fleeting and they don't last long. And so I think really being tuned into them is important. And so I want to share a few things that I shared with my email list last week. And if you're on it, you already got this, so you can watch again. You're welcome if you like. So I took some information that I got from 3 different astrologers that I follow. One is Chris Reck. His channel is called Minnopond Tarot. And there's also Christopher Witecki. I think his channel might be called Sirius Joy, Sirius. And then Nadia Shaw. I took some tidbits of what they were saying about what this eclipse was about. Wanted to kind of distill some of this down just so that we can understand maybe what might be going on. If we think about this eclipse was in Libra, which is about relationships. And I always talk to people when I work with them about having a relationship with your writing and your writing practice. I don't view writing as something we do outside ourselves. I don't think it's an extension of us. I think it is us. And I believe that we can understand our relationship with ourselves when we look at how we treat our writing. And I ask people to think of it as they would any other important relationship in their life. Have they committed to it? Are they faithful to it? Are they honest when they show up to do it? I think all those things apply. And I think in the end then, when we do that, it's really a deep act of self-love. When we can show up for our writing practice in this way, authentically, give it our best, even if our best today isn't as good as it was yesterday or last week, it's okay. We're showing up. And so here are some things that we might look at, even though this is a week late. We're in eclipse season. So this energy is going to kind of reverberate for a while. And we have a new moon solar eclipse coming up on April 8th. So I'll do a short video about that. And then Mercury also went retrograde yesterday. And of course, we've been in the shadow of that leading up to it. So I'll do a separate video about that as well. All right, so with this full moon lunar eclipse in Libra, because it is about relationships, you know, one thing we can do is commit to our writing as an act of self-love, okay? And so honoring your impulse to create and allowing your life force to rise up out of you, that is honoring your writing practice. And like I said, whether it's, you know, good or bad, however you define that, doesn't really matter. It's the showing up that matters the most. So I just challenge you to treat your writing practice with as much respect as you do with all the important other relationships in your life. And then trust that relationship, like trust yourself, your subconscious, and the universe so that the words can flow. Because when we trust it and we know that it won't let us down, even though it might not always show up as its best, just to know that it's there for us is what matters. And when we can show up with that kind of perspective, it's much easier for the ideas and the words to flow and find their way onto the page. So I really think, you know, being willing to listen to your characters always, but especially now, like think of them also as a relationship, and really be willing to look at all sides of a story you might be working on, or a project, or a certain character, and just be open to discovering things that maybe you didn't expect. All right? Another is to release doubts and self-judgment about yourself and your writing. Spending less time second guessing and more time writing is what we want to do, because it all works out. As my grandma used to say, it all comes out in the wash, right? So there's this, Nadia Shah talks about this easy power that we have right now with this eclipse that just happened, to kind of lead us to a massive overhaul. And so if you can just kind of give into that and let that happen, and maybe not try to control things so much if you feel like you've been in this kind of struggle, and just see how that works, see where that takes you. And then the last thing is just obviously to take action and write. You know, having the confidence, trusting your connection, and committing to your practice will really pave the way to allow you to get your butt in the chair and do it, and to be vulnerable enough to write, because that's really in the end what it takes, is being vulnerable to ourselves, to our characters, and then ultimately to the readers who might one day read our work. So really committing, showing up and doing it, however often you can do that, is the action that demonstrates that you trust your relationship with your writing and your writing practice. All right, so that's it for how we might think of this eclipse in terms of our writing. So I hope that helps. Let me know in the comments. Sending you mad writing mojo. Happy writing.